morning, guys. Today, a couple more things on my way. So today I am working on one of the alcohol ink swirls, and I'm going to be using these for alcohol inks. And I have my epoxy almost mixed up. Now I painted my cup a flat white. I do have one that I'm going to be doing where the cup is actually going to be painted black before. But for this one, we need blue and white. You're also going to need your heat gun. Sorry, I forgot to mix my epoxy before I started this morning. I'm not 100% awake yet. And I lost my coffee already too. So as I'm working on these tutorials, I'm trying to figure out what else to do tutorials on. So if you guys have ones that you would like to see or need help with, please tell me what they are and I will make them for you. Okay, so that's good. Now for my epoxy, I'm using the Fox Wizzle. This epoxy is perfect for my climate that I live in, and it actually sets pretty fast. About 4 hours, it's pretty dry for me, and I work in my basement, so it stays a good 60-65 degrees down here in the winter. Okay, so for this one, what you want to do, you want to put a lot of epoxy on. Kind of like you're doing a flood coat when you do glitter. I have extra mixed up here actually for other cups that I have to do this morning, but I'm doing it on a 20-ounce curve, so I would use for a cup this size probably about 20 mLs, same you would for a flood coat. And that will help your epoxy. This will help it flow better when you do your colors. Now you have to remember too, when you're doing this type of cup, that you're not going to get the exact results that you want right away, and every single one of them is going to be different. Make sure your cup's good and covered. And make sure you get your bottom too, because you're going to want some on the bottom. Okay, now that you have your epoxy on, let's save this glove. Now that you have your epoxy on, you want to let it set for a minute, and then you need your heat gun. I just have a cheap one that I bought from Harbor Freight, I think. And you're going to want to heat your epoxy up, so you'll hear my heat gun here for a minute. like to heat mine up until I see it start flowing around my cup. Now, because I'm doing a light color and a dark color, I'm going to start with my dark color. And my dark one is Denim Tim Holtz. And you just want to drip it all over. Now I want to cover up a lot of my white for what I'm doing for my design on this, since it's going to be a Colts cup. Now after I've added that, now I did put some down along the bottom, so that way for the next step it will cover some of my bottom. Now for my white, now you want to try to drip your white in places where you don't have the blue, so I have noticed too that this Pinta brand, I think it's called, yeah, Pinta, I like this brand better than the Tim Holtz. Okay, now that I have this done, this is the fun part. Now you want to take your cup and you want to tip it. When you tip it like this, all your colors are going to start to run and swirl. And I will, after this, we're going to heat it up again. I think I need some more blues in certain areas. Turn it upside down. Yep, I need to. I need more white too. Okay, now you're gonna want your heat gun again, just to heat it up a little bit. Go back to your tipping, and you want to keep tipping it. You will have some epoxy fall off because of heating it, but you want to go back to tipping it up and down until you start to get the swirls that you're looking for. And of course, everything's falling off my desk. So you keep tipping like this. I tend to heat my epoxy up actually a couple of different times before I'm really ready to say I'm done. And I keep adding ink here and there to spots that look like they need more. Now when you do this, you can add as many colors as you want to. You just want to keep going back and forth with it until you start getting the color or the look that you're going for. Hold it straight up, add drip, and hold it straight down like this. Make sure you have a turner that holds your cups on there really well. So now I'm getting a lot better flow. So like I said, this one's on a white base. There we go. We're getting good drips now. This one's on a white base. I will be doing one on a black base also. See all the definition I'm starting to get in it. Pull this down and I'll get it a little bit closer for you. These are one of my favorite designs to do because they're so simple and they're so easy to do and they're pretty quick. And every single one of them comes out different. And that's one of my favorite things I love about it. You use the same technique, but every single one is different. Now I did do this on a flat base. I've noticed that with gloss bases that the epoxy, they tend to repel the epoxy. So I always use a flat or a matte. And there's also certain spots. Let me turn this around so I can use my other hand. I have one of these picks that I got with some of my paint. You can actually take and drag through it. Give you some more swirl marks. Pull your ink down some in certain areas. Now when that swirl right there comes back around, it'll be filled in and it'll look totally different. There, and that is it. Easy peasy. If you have any questions, type them in the comments and make sure to hit the subscribe button.